But let's get talking to another company this time round, again from the Anand Rathi Emerging India Conference. We're talking about Firstsource. Rajesh Subramaniam, the MD and CEO of the company, now joins in from the sidelines of the conference. Hi sir, thank you very much for joining in today. I'm going to first start by asking you about deal wins, because in the last week we've heard multiple big IT companies scoring some amount of deals. We saw Infosys with a $1 billion deal. We saw a deal with Bombardier as well. Can you just give us a sense in terms of what the deal pipeline for Firstsource is looking like at this point in time?
Yeah, our deal pipeline is very attractive in the two business segments that we're focusing on. One is in healthcare and the other one is in the customer management space. Currently, our deal pipeline is closer to about $400 million. We had announced annual contract wins of almost $50 million over the last two years, which translates into about $150 to $175 million of TCVs. We are in active defense and growth with our existing customers. The demand environment is extremely attractive. The capabilities that we bring to the table in addressing our customers' needs are seeing significant momentum, not just from the existing business that we do, but new lines of work that we are penetrating within our customer segments. And as I've always said, the Affordable Care Act is throwing up significant opportunities where some of the new product developments that we have in dealing with the same customers, the CFOs of the large hospitals that we work with, is going to start yielding results as we go in. So I'm very, very confident of what our outlook is in FY16, and ours is a long sales lead cycle, and it takes time for the businesses to stabilize. But I think we are set up very well in Q4 and beyond.
In that case, Rajesh, are you telling us that FY15 itself is likely to be a bit subdued? I mean, first quarter revenue, rupee revenue was down about 5%. So if we have to expect last year's run rate, will that 10% materialize for the full year?
Yeah, Lata, two elements to it. So if I take a look at the year-on-year metric, it doesn't present an accurate picture because we did terminate certain lines of work and we did terminate some customers. So on a like-to-like basis, I think if I take a look at FY14 in terms of what the constant currency number was, and if I take a look at the growth that I'm setting up for this year, the growth rates we expect would be somewhere between 4 to 6%. But when I set up for Q4, the growth rate going into next year will be in excess of about 8%, which sets me up well for the industry level growth rates going into FY16.
Okay. And what about margins? I understand this quarter itself there would be wage hike pressure. But on a more secular basis, what's FY15 and 16 likely to look like in terms of margins?
Sure, our margin expansion story is continuing. Significant operating leverages in the business. We have guided to 150 to 200 basis point improvement in margins in FY15 over FY14. We did about 11.9% EBITDA, which will definitely see an upward bias this year. And we fundamentally believe there's another 100 to 125 basis points of margin improvement tenable as we take a look at driving a different level of operating efficiency, and we also get better pricing leverage with the new opportunities, especially in healthcare.
Okay. Mr. Subramaniam, I just have a couple of questions with regards to your balance sheet. There is a report indicating that, by FY16, they're estimating a net debt reduction of $100 billion. Is that fair to assume?
I think by FY15, my net debt to EBITDA will be sub 1. At the time before the FCCB was repaid, we were 7 times debt to EBITDA. We would be sub 1 by March 2015, 1 or sub 1, which means the debt I would be carrying on my books would be, long-term debt would be, less than $85 million. So yeah, we are repaying $45 million every year. I expect the debt runoff to happen pretty comfortably with the significant cash flows that the business is generating.
All right, Rajesh, on that very positive note, thank you very much for joining us. A quick break. We will be inviting a very seasoned veteran watcher of the stock market.